It's time for Hamilton Southeastern basketball on Audio Sports Online. Tonight we come to you from Columbus North High School, the home of the Bulldogs, as the 12th-ranked Royals will take on the 10-6 Columbus North Bulldogs, and you can watch all the action tonight right here on Audio Sports Online. Good evening, everybody. My name is Brian Scott. Thanks for hanging out with me on this Thursday night, a little different night for a little boys high school hoops. Why? Well, because girls sectionals are underway, and we'll be talking a little bit more about that at halftime. Coach Chris Huppenthal's Lady Royals team, that sectional, of course, being held at Hamilton Southeastern High School. Lady Royals got the first win in their sectional, beating Westfield. And again, we'll talk more about that at the half as we wish Coach Huppenthal's Lady Royals the best during their sectional run. Tonight, the boys, they are here at Columbus North to take on the Bulldogs, fresh off of a big win last week as they knocked off Noblesville 61-41. Hamilton Southeastern got off to a good start and really never looked back. They were led by 17 points from Zach Gunn. Also coming up with 11 points from Noah Smith. And while Hamilton Southeastern got what turned out to be a 20-point win, offense was a little hard to come by for the Royals through the first three quarters, but things really kind of clicked in that fourth and final quarter. Jack Davidson did not play in that game. He dressed, but did not play. Austin Holtzum got the start in that contest, and Austin had 3 points, a couple of rebounds, and 3 assists. Tonight, Holtzum will also start. This time he will start in place of Noah Smith. Smith will not start the game. We'll have starting lineups in just a few moments, but it'll be the second consecutive start for the 6'1 senior Holtzum. Jack Davidson, he is back in the lineup. He will start tonight for Coach Brian Satterfield. Again, it was a slow start offensively for Hamilton Southeastern against Noblesville, but they finished strong, and in the end they came up with a big 20-point win. And they're going to take on a Columbus North team that is coming off of a win against Whiteland, 46-38. And Coach Paul Ferguson's Bulldogs are 10-6 on the season. And they've been a streaky team this season. They won their first 4 games. They went through a 5-game losing stretch, and now they've won their last 5. So much like when Mount Vernon visited Hamilton Southeastern and they were on a bit of a winning streak, Hamilton Southeastern is going to face another team that is also on a bit of a winning streak tonight in the form of the Bulldogs from Mount Vernon. Their leading scorer is Alex King, who is averaging 19.5 points per game, and then you kind of have to go down from there. That is their primary offensive threat is King. They also get a little over 9 points from Zach Green off the bench. But everything rests on the senior King, who is, again, mentioning 19.5 points. He's got 8 rebounds per contest as well. So let's go ahead as we get ready for tonight's game. We're going to first have, I believe, our national anthem. Of course, we are at Memorial Gymnasium, a place that holds about 7,200 people. Not going to be quite capacity tonight, and as you can tell from our broadcast position, we are rather high up here. So we're getting ready for basketball on a night that's a big night here at Columbus North. They are also hosting the swimming sectionals. So a lot of people here. And, in fact, the crowd, there's probably a bigger crowd right now watching the swimming sectionals than there is here for the basketball game. But the JV Royals came away with a big win, and we're going to hope that the varsity team does so. But before we do anything, we're going to have our national anthem.
Under the direction of Karen Hill, plays our national anthem.
That is the Columbus North Pep Band with our national anthem as we get ready for some basketball tonight. I'm Brian Scott. Thanks for joining me for Royals basketball and ASO. You know you are not wrong. This game going to start a little early, if at all possible. A long trip for the Royals from the northeast side, of Indianapolis. So we're going to be a few minutes earlier than normal. So let's go ahead and give you the particulars for tonight's game. First off, the visiting Hamilton Southeastern Royals. The head coach is Brian Satterfield. In his 16th season at the helm of Southeastern, he has a 253 and 114 record as he heads into that 16th year. And his starting lineup will be as follows. Starting at one guard will be a 6-foot senior, Jack Davidson. At the other guard, a 6'1 senior, Austin Holton. Connor Rotterman, he will be the third guard, a 6'1 senior. At forward, a 6'6 sophomore, Aaron Etherington, and at forward, a 6'7 senior, Zach Gunn, the leading scorer for Hamilton Southeastern this season, averaging over 21 points per game. So once again, the lineup for Coach Satterfield: in the backcourt, it will be Davidson, Holtzum, and Rotterman. The front court of Etherington and Gunn. That is the starting five for the Hamilton Southeastern Royals. For Columbus North, the head coach in his second season is Paul Ferguson. He is 20-20 in his second year at the helm of the Bulldogs, 153-75 in his ninth year overall. The Bulldogs, they have some height on the front line, but first off, starting at a guard, will be a 5'11 senior, Nathan Van Deventer. At the other guard will be a 6-foot junior, Trey Vinson. At one forward, a 6'1 junior, Jalen Flemings. The other forward and leading scorer, a 6'8 senior, Alex King. And at center, a 6'7 senior, Stephen Peters-Smith. So once again to the backcourt, it's Van Deventer and Vincent. Up front, Flemings, King, and Peters-Smith. Those are the starting five for the Bulldogs of Columbus North. Again, they are riding a 5-game winning streak. They average a little over 56 points per game, and they give up almost 52 points per game. Meanwhile, Southeastern, still one of the better scoring teams in the state of Indiana, averaging over 74 points per game, but they're also giving up about 61 points per game. Southeastern has won their last two contests, including that win against Noblesville last weekend, 61-41. 2 games for Coach Satterfield this week, the game tonight, and then the Royals will make up that Westfield game that was postponed due to inclement weather. That will be made up Saturday with a tip-off at 1:30. We'll tell you more about that because that game will be on Audio Sports Online. Zach Gunn will jump center with Stephen Peters-Smith. The ball's in the air. Austin Holtzum has it, and the Royals will have the basketball in the road Royal Blues with the white numerals and white trim, and kind of a mirror image as the Bulldogs wear the white jerseys with the royal blue numerals and trim. The 2-3 zone being employed by Columbus North. They try to get to Gunn in the middle. It's knocked away, and finally it is corralled by Austin Holtzum. He gives it to Connor Rotterman. They get it down low to Etherington, who kicks it back to Davidson. Again, Davidson did not play in the Noblesville game, but looks fine here. Here's a pull-up jumper from the left elbow. No good by Rotterman. Holtzum with a rebound, loses his balance. They kick it out to Davidson, who launches the three, rims around, and falls out. And Stephen Smith has it, and quickly up the court come the Bulldogs. They get it down into the corner, and this is Nathan Van Deventer with the basketball. Sends it up to the top to Trey Vincent, and back to Van Deventer. Alex King with the ball. He is their leading scorer. As Van Deventer will kick it back out to King. King, free throw line, a little right-hand runner, and he will get it to drop. King averaging, as I mentioned, 19.5 points per contest. He has the first 2 points in this game as the Bulldogs show a 1-2-2 press off of the made basket. And the Royals get it into the front court. As Rotterman over to Holtzum, right side to Gunn, who will launch the long-range three and nail it. Zach Gunn hitting the long-range three on his first shot of the contest, and Southeastern now in front 3-2 with 6:23 left to go in this opening quarter of play from Columbus, Indiana. This is Deventer. His pull-up jumper from the left wing in front of the three-point line is up and good. Nathan Van Deventer has the bucket. He's averaging almost 8 points per contest as the Royals get it into the front court. They'll send it to Davidson. Davidson skip past to Holtzum. Holtzum between the legs, back to Gunn. Gunn right side. Davidson almost pulled the trigger, but it collapsed on quickly. Gives it to Etherington, down to Gunn in the low blocks. Gunn, left-hander, rims out and into the hands of King. He will go right side to Van Deventer, who they say stepped on the sideline. And the turnover will give the ball back to Southeastern, who trails 4-3 with 5:43 left to go, opening quarter. I'm Brian Scott. Thanks for joining me for Royals basketball here from Columbus North on Audio Sports Online. As the Bulldogs will drop back into the 2-3 zone. Holtzum will run the show, send it right side to Davidson, back to Holtzum. Holtzum sends it back to the right side. He was hoping for Roderman to clear out baseline. Roderman now has the basketball. Gunn, a little bit of a ball fake, sends it back to Holtzum, who will launch the three. That one's short. Zach flies in for the rebound and can't get it, and come away with it is the Bulldogs. Bulldogs right side. Van Deventer thought about a three, but quickly closed on by Roderman. He'll get it down to Stephen Peter Smith, who will be fouled by Zach Gunn. And Peter Smith will earn a trip to the free throw line. Gunn with his first personal and the first team foul. Stephen Peter Smith hits the first free throw. He's 16 of 20 on the season, a 79% free throw shooter. Missed the second one, and Roderman has the loose ball on the rebound. Royals trail by 2, long-range three. Zach Gunn, 2 shots, 2 long threes, and that gives the Royals back the lead at 6-5. 4:42 remains in this first quarter, as King almost lost it and sends it to Van Deventer. With the basketball, this is Jalen Flemings. Driving baseline is Trey Vincent. His shot no good, and the ball finally comes down into the hands of Hamilton Southeastern. They'll go the other way. Touch pass from Holtzum over to Roderman. Sends it over down low. And the turnover gives the ball back to the Bulldogs. And we're going to have a timeout called by Coach Paul Ferguson, a 30-second timeout, as tries to look over this Southeastern defense. .409 remains in this first quarter. Southeastern with a 6-5 lead. I'm Brian Scott. Zach Gunn with all 6 points, 2 deep threes to give the Royals the lead. Out of the timeout, no changes to either lineup, as it will be Trey Vincent triggering the inbounds, and he will get it over to Alex King. King right side to Vincent, almost lost it, picks it back up, finds King, then they go left side to Peter Smith. And now a whistle, and they're going to call an offensive foul against the Bulldogs. And it will be Stephen Peter Smith that will be hit with a foul. Holtzum departs, and Noah Smith now in. Smith did not start the game, but he is now in at the 3:52 mark. Royals lead 6-5. As Roderman goes right side to Davidson as they look at this 2-3 zone with Zach Gunn at the free throw line. Etherington gets trapped, looking for somebody to give the ball to and throws it away. Van Deventer gives it to King. King will not be able to finish it, but he will get his own rebound and put it back up and in. King watched that one roll off the rim, but picked it up on the weak side and was able to put it back to give the Bulldogs the lead once again by 1. It's 7-6 with 3:20 left to go first quarter. Noah Smith down low to Etherington, but poked away by Jalen Flemings. Bulldogs bring it back the other way, leading by a point as we approach 3 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Van Deventer with the basketball. Left side, this is King. And King's going to back it up. He'll send it to Vincent, skip pass over the top to Flemons. Bulldogs being patient, especially out on the perimeter as they probe. Here's King. Now he'll drive the right side of the lane, kick it out to Van Deventer. Pass was low. I think Van Deventer wanted to take the three, but just couldn't get the ball up before Zach Gunn closed out. Good defense by Hamilton Southeastern. King works on Gunn and is able to get it up and over Zach. Alex King has 6 of the Bulldog 9 points, and it's a 3-point lead for Columbus North with 2:13 left to go in the first quarter. Noah Smith to Zach Gunn, launches another three. This one's off, but there is Connor Rotterman. He gets the rebound, finds Zach. Zach throws up a prayer, gets the bucket, comes down clutching his knee slightly, is getting back on defense, but not before the Bulldogs manage to get back with numbers, and Trey Vincent finishes it with the bucket as it's now 11-8 for the Bulldogs. Davidson, ball fake, then calmly slips over but can't get the three. King on a baseball pass. He goes up to Vincent. Vincent with a little wraparound, won't get the bucket, but he's going to draw the foul against the Royals' Zach Gunn, which will be his second team foul against Hamilton Southeastern, and Vincent will go to the line. Vincent at the line. He is a 65% free throw shooter this season. And he hits the first. Chaz Birchfield will come in. Zach Gunn will depart. Also, Aaron Shank will come in. He will replace Aaron Etherington. So Gunn has to sit. He has 8 points, but 2 personal fouls. Vincent will hit both of his free throws. He has 4 points. And it's a 5-point Bulldog lead with 1:27 left to go in the opening quarter. Davidson is joined by Noah Smith, Connor Rotterman, Chaz Birchfield, and Aaron Shank. Back to Rotterman. Rotterman with the basketball, tried to feed Smith in the lane, threw the pass too low. Finally, it comes down in the hands of the Bulldogs. Nice touch pass. Vincent out to Peter Smith, and finally the Bulldogs calmed down a little bit as things got a little wild. Vincent loses the basketball now. Rotterman on a 3-on-2 will have the ball poked away from behind on a good return as Zach Green is into the lineup for the Bulldogs. He hustled back and poked it away, and Nick Bowman will come in for Connor Rotterman. The ball will remain in the hands of Hamilton Southeastern, trailing 13-8 with 54.1 seconds remaining in this first quarter. And Nick Bowman now has the basketball to Noah Smith left side. You've got Davidson, Bowman, Smith, Birchfield, and Shank on the court now for Coach Brian Satterfield. And a 5-point lead for the Bulldogs as we are down to 38 seconds remaining in the first quarter. This is Noah Smith to Davidson to Birchfield, over to Nick Bowman, back to Davidson. 26 seconds. They get it down low to Aaron Shank. Aaron, though, leaves the shot short. And Stephen Peter Smith comes away with the basketball, and the Bulldogs have it with 17 seconds remaining, likely playing for the final shot of the quarter. They have a 5-point lead, and now Nathan Van Deventer with the basketball gives it to Vincent. Vincent drives in the lane, tries to leave it off for Peter Smith, but threw it away, and that'll be the end of the first quarter as Nick Bowman couldn't get it up. And after 8 minutes of play, it is the Bulldogs with a 5-point lead, 13-8. Second quarter action after this. This is Royals basketball on ASO. We played 8 minutes of basketball from Columbus North, and the Bulldogs lead the Hamilton Southeastern Royals by 5 at 13-8. Brian Scott back with you. Zach Gunn, he was the totality of the Royals scoring there in that first quarter, scoring 8 points, but Zach also picked up 2 personal fouls, so he's on the bench. Meanwhile, Alex King, the Bulldogs' leading scorer this season, he has 6 points, 4 points for Trey Vincent, 2 for Nathan Van Deventer, and 1 point from Stephen Peter Smith. Bulldogs were 3 of 4 from the free throw line in that first quarter, but the Royals hit 2 3-point baskets, both courtesy of Zach Gunn. We'll start the second quarter with Noah Smith. He is joined by Aaron Etherington, Chaz Birchfield, Aaron Shank, and Nick Bowman. We'll get you the Bulldogs lineup in just a moment. It is Nathan Van Deventer. He's joined by Ethan Mitchell. This is Zach Green with the basketball. Alex King now has the basketball, and also on the court is Jalen Flemings. With the basketball is Zach Green, and he will drive left side of the lane. Didn't get the bucket, and coming away with a rebound was Chaz Birchfield. Birchfield almost had his pocket pick. Manages to get to Etherington, who finds Shank, who finds Birchfield, who drives left side of the lane. Shot no good. Getting the Roofs ball and getting the rebound was Noah Smith, and Noah has his first points. And the first point other than Zach Gunn for the Royals, and now a whistle, as I believe they're going to get Aaron Etherington for the foul. Aaron's first, team's third. As Southeastern, after the Noah Smith bucket, trails by 3 at 13-10. As we've played 51 seconds of this second quarter. Van Deventer will bring it back into the front court. Here comes the trap, looking for someplace to give it to. Finally is able to find Ethan Mitchell. This is King. Finds Flemings. They'll send it right side, and driving baseline and getting the bucket. And one is Zach Green. Count the basket. Foul will be on Noah Smith, I believe. His first, team's fourth. And it will be Zach Green at the free throw line, a 55% free throw shooter on the season, trying to see if he can convert the three-point play. And he cannot, as it is Etherington with the rebound. 15-10 in favor of the Bulldogs. As Noah Smith checks over to Brian Satterfield and sees what Coach Satterfield wants to run on this set with the Royals trailing by 5. They'll go right side to Etherington. To Birchfield, back left side to Noah Smith. Noah drives in the lane, throws it up. Won't get the bucket. They'll say the foul occurred before the shot. And Zach Green will be hit with his first, second team foul against Columbus North, and Nick Bowman will take the ball out of bounds from the baseline. 15-10, and now as they try to get the inbound to Aaron Etherington, Alex King is going to be, I believe, called for the foul. That's his first, team's third. Bowman will inbound and gets it to Etherington. Trap comes quickly, and Etherington able to dribble out of it with a right-hand runner in the lane. Etherington gets the bucket. Here's King for 3 from the wing, and Alex King calmly buries the 3 to make it an 18-12 Bulldogs advantage. We played 2 minutes here in the second quarter. Smith to Birchfield. Birchfield right-handed, no good in the lane. Ethan Mitchell with a rebound. He will hand the ball off to Alex King. Etherington did a good job after getting trapped to dribble through and get the bucket, but the Bulldogs quickly answered with a 3 from King to extend the lead. They lead by 6 and have the basketball looking for more. Driving, getting caught underneath, sending it to King out in the corner. That 3 is no good. Bowman comes away with a rebound. Green dribbled it. Here comes Birchfield. His shot no good. Long outlet. As King again looks for Zach Green. They'll send it out, though, to the wing. And Trey Trey Vincent hits the three, and Brian Satterfield's going to call timeout as things are starting to get a little out of hand, as that three gives the Bulldogs a 9-point advantage at 21-12 with 5:14 remaining here in this second quarter. A couple of big threes, one by King, one by Vincent. And now the Royals find themselves trailing 21-12. We mentioned earlier we'll be back on the air on Saturday as the Royals will make up that game against Westfield that was postponed a few weeks ago. That was originally part of a boys-girls doubleheader. The girls have already made up their game. The boys will play Saturday afternoon at 1:30. We'll have that game for you on Audio Sports Online. The JV will be in action Saturday morning. We will also have that game. That game will tip off at 11 o'clock. It will be against Heritage Christian. So we'll have the JV game against Heritage Christian at 11 o'clock, followed by the varsity game against Westfield. Tip-off scheduled for 12:30 on Audio Sports Online. Meantime, Royals made about the 1-hour trip from Hamilton Southeastern down to Columbus. And with 5:14 left to go here in this second quarter, Hamilton Southeastern trails by 9 at 21-12. Zach Gunn had 8 points in that first quarter, but he also picked up 2 fouls, and he remains ensconced on the bench for Hamilton Southeastern. Noah Smith will bring the ball into the front court and send it left side to Connor Rotterman, to Jack Davidson, who's now back into the lineup. Here is Aaron Etherington's three from the corner. That's just short. Ball is chased down and belongs to the Bulldogs as they get it into the hands of Alex King. King right side to Green as they move the basketball around against this man-to-man. Here's King. He bodies up, spins in the left side of the lane, and Alex King now has 11 points. And the lead is 11 at 23-12 for the Bulldogs. Connor Rotterman's joined by Aaron Shank, Noah Smith, Aaron Etherington, and Jack Davidson. This is Etherington with the basketball, who finds Noah. To Connor, left side, Jack Davidson. Skip pass back to Noah Smith. 23-12, that's the score. 4:18 left to go, third quarter. Davidson drives, has his shot blocked by Ethan Mitchell, to the delight of the crowd that is here. And now Zach Gunn will re-enter the lineup with 4:13 left to go in the second quarter. Zach has 8 points, but he also has 2 personal fouls. Inbound to Rotterman, who give it to Davidson. Davidson to Noah Smith. Smith to Etherington. Bounce pass to Gunn. Gunn puts the shot up, but they'll wave it off. They say the foul occurred on the floor. It'll be the 4th team foul. And Zach Green will pick up his second personal, 4th team foul. And it will be Jalen Flemings returning to the lineup as Green departs with those 2 personal fouls and 2 points. Davidson to inbound. Looks and lobs it out to Noah Smith. Noah, with the lane opened up, he scoops the layup, but he won't get the kind roll. It falls out. Here come the Bulldogs after leaving the lane open. Noah took advantage of it, just couldn't get it to drop. 23-12 is the score with 3:47 left to go second quarter. King with the basketball. Sends it to Vincent. Vincent gets around a high ball screen, drives right side, and Zach Gunn, who couldn't afford to pick up that third personal, just had to let him go, and it's a 25-12 lead for the Bulldogs. Rotterman, as the Royals work this Bulldog zone. Now they'll give it to Zach Gunn. Back to Davidson. Davidson tried to send it to the corner, but threw it. It hit the basket, and they stop play because that means it's a turnover, and the ball will go to the Bulldogs. Davidson wanted to send it into the near side corner where Connor Rotterman was waiting, but instead threw it away. Austin Holtzum will come in. He'll take over for Noah Smith. And Trey Vincent will take a seat as Nathan Van Deventer will return to the lineup for Coach Paul Ferguson, with the Bulldogs up 25-12. 3:07 remains in this second quarter. Right side, this is Van Deventer for 3. That shot's no good. Gunn has the rebound. Royals have numbers, 3-on-2. Gunn in the lane, and can't get the shot to fall. Followed it up, tipped it out, and Austin Holtzum will get the bucket. Student section under the basket looking for the offensive foul, didn't get it, and Coach Paul Ferguson also looking for it. He's not going to get a satisfactory explanation on his end. That basket cuts it to an 11-point deficit for Southeastern with 2:30 left to go in the first half, and Van Deventer just dribbles it off his foot. An unforced turnover, and Southeastern can get the deficit to within single digits with a bucket here. Holtzum into the front court, left side to Rotterman. Bulldogs have stayed in this 2-3 zone, and now we're going to have a whistle and a foul away from the basketball. It's an offensive foul against Aaron Etherington. He and Alex King were battling, and King with a rather sarcastic clapping after the foul. It is the second personal for Etherington, 15 foul. Bulldogs quickly get it up the court, and once again, Zach Gunn has to let the ball go by him to not pick up that third foul, and Ethan Mitchell gets the bucket. It's back to a 13-point advantage. Here's Rotterman, drives, he's tied up by Mitchell, but we'll have a whistle and a foul called. Mitchell with his first 15 foul, and the Royals will shoot their first free throw of the contest as Connor Rotterman goes to the line, where he's a 74% free throw shooter this season. And he's not going to get that one, though. Royals as a team have been shooting 81% from the line. That figure has been going up in recent games while their overall field goal percentage has been dropping. And Rotterman splits the free throws. He has his first point, and it makes it a 12-point lead for the Bulldogs. Hamilton Southeastern shooting 53% from the field, 38% from three. That's also been going down. They try to lob it, it hits the backboard, and Van Deventer is going to be called for kicking the ball out of bounds, so Jack Davidson will inbound from the baseline. Southeastern's free throw percentage has been steadily climbing as the season progressed, as especially their three-point shooting has started to drop off, with only Zach Gunn continuing to shoot decently from beyond the arc. And even he is only at 33%. Jack Davidson is their best three-point shooter, and getting the bucket is Austin Holtzum. As Aaron Etherington is getting a talking to from the official. He and Alex King have been going at it, and the official basically telling Aaron to calm down. That bucket cuts it to a 10-point deficit. King right side, Van Deventer for three. It's on the way, but it's no good. Etherington with a rebound. Aaron drives left side, gives it to Davidson. Davidson over to Connor Rotterman, well short, but Holtzum is there to get the loose ball. And he'll find Zach Gunn. Zach in the lane, he gets bumped, throws it up, doesn't get a call. And quickly, while he's arguing the call, here come the Bulldogs the other way. And Jalen Flemings has the bucket. 36 seconds remain in the quarter. It's a 12-point lead for the Bulldogs. Gunn gets left wide open. He launches a three. It's a little long. Tapped up by Holtzum to Etherington to Rotterman. And the ball came to Connor Rotterman. It's going to be a foul called against Nathan Van Deventer, his first. And it'll be the 16th foul against the Bulldogs. 24 seconds remain. And Hamilton Southeastern will be inbounding from the baseline. They trail 29-17. Austin Holtzum will inbound from the baseline. And he'll find Rotterman all alone in the corner. Rotterman's three comes halfway down, comes out. But there's Aaron Etherington following it up, getting the rebound and the basket. And now a steal by Holtzum. Here's Davidson to Gunn. Gunn lays it up rolls off the rim. King gets the rebound, and then they're going to call a foul on Connor Rotterman. It'll be the 16th foul, and the first foul against Connor Rotterman with 9.6 seconds remaining. 29-19 is the score. Brian Satterfield is going to get Zach Gunn out of the game with 2 fouls. He'll bring Aaron Shank in for the final 9.6, and neither coach really happy with the officiating right now. 7 seconds remain. They'll get it to King. King will drive. He'll leave the right-hand runner short. Here's Holtzum, half court at the buzzer, hits the front of the rim, but will not drop, and that's the end of the first half. Southeastern finds himself trailing by 10 after 16 minutes of basketball. Stay tuned. We'll take a look around the HCC. We'll let you know what's happening to Coach Chris Uppenthal's Lady Royals, and we'll have a quick look at the first half. All coming up in just a few minutes is the Royals basketball on ASO. Halftime at Columbus North High School, the Hamilton Southeastern Royals find themselves trailing by 10, 29-19 against the Bulldogs from Columbus North. Southeastern having some issues offensively. We saw this in the Noblesville game. It wasn't until the fourth quarter where Southeastern finally kind of got things a little bit on a roll, but right now they're having problems getting some offense. In the first quarter, it was Zach Gunn and Zach Gunn alone that was able to put some points on the board for Hamilton Southeastern, but Zach also picked up 2 quick fouls and spent much of the rest of the first quarter and well into the second quarter on the bench. Meanwhile, Southeastern not able to do much from beyond the arc and also having some problems defensively. They're having a big problem keeping track of Alex King, as King has scored 11 points for the Bulldogs, 9 points from Trey Vincent, and also the Bulldogs have gotten a couple of threes. Let's give you some particulars stat-wise here in the first half. Leading scorer for Hamilton Southeastern is Zach Gunn with 8 points, 4 points each from Austin Holtzum and Aaron Etherington, 2 points from Noah Smith, 1 point from Connor Rotterman. Nick Bowman, Jack Davidson, Chaz Birchfield, and Aaron Schenk have all played. They have not scored. Southeastern only has gotten to the free throw line twice. They are 1 of 2 from the line. They did hit 2 3-pointers, but that was both of those were from Zach Gunn in that first quarter. For the Bulldogs of Columbus North, their leading scorer on the season, Alex King, already well on his way to a season average of almost 20 points. He has 11 points here in this first half, including 1 3-point basket, 9 points from Trey Vincent, 2 points each from Nathan Van Deventer, Zach Green, Jalen Fleming, and Ethan Mitchell, 1 point from Stephen Peter Smith. The Bulldogs were 3 of 5 from the free throw line in that first half, and they hit 2 3-point baskets. Bulldogs doing a good job getting up and down the court in that 2-3 zone, proving to be a little bit of an issue right now for Hamilton Southeastern. We'll see if they can figure this out here in the second half. As we take a look around the Hoosier Crossroads Conference entering play this week, a lot of things were decided last weekend when the Brownsburg Bulldogs and the Zionsville Eagles took to the court. Both teams had gone into that game with perfect records in the HCC, and Zionsville is the one that's come out that now controls their own destiny. They beat Brownsburg last week. Let's take a look at the scores from last weekend. Avon defeated Westfield 62-57 last Friday. Of course, the Royals beat Noblesville 61-41, and as I mentioned, Zionsville topped Brownsburg 75-58. Last Saturday, the Bulldogs bounced back, beat Terre Haute South 77-65. Center Grove over Avon 57-43. Zionsville fell to Homestead 78-74. Lawrence North over Fisher 61-57, and Westfield beat Lebanon 48-31. Tonight, Zionsville is hosting Avon. Brownsburg is at Noblesville. Fishers is at Westfield. And then on Saturday, a lot of games taking place in the afternoon. Some of these are makeup games. Avon will host Ben Davis. Noblesville is hosting Mount Vernon. Decatur Central is hosting Zionsville. Of course, the Royals will host Westfield. Beginning to play this week, Zionsville, again, they control their own destiny after winning that game against Brownsburg. They're a perfect 4-0 in the HCC, 11-5 overall. Hamilton Southeastern has the best record of any HCC team. They're 14-3 after winning their last 2, but they're 3-1 in the HCC with their lone loss, that heartbreaker against Zionsville. Brownsburg is 11-4, 3-1 in the HCC. Avon 6-9, 2-2 in the conference. Noblesville is 7-9, 1-3 in the conference. They've lost their last 2. Fishers is 6-10, 1-3 in the conference, and the Tigers have lost their last 4. And Westfield, they're 4-10. They will be the next opponent for Hamilton Southeastern. The Shamrocks are 0-4 in the HCC. We talked about Chris Huppenthal's Ladies Royals as the sectionals are now underway, and the Lady Royals, they defeated Westfield Tuesday night 68-36 as freshman Sydney Parrish scored 17 points. Sophomore Taya Irvin had 13 points, and senior Bree Lloyd, she have 11 points as Hamilton Southeastern cruised to the win. The Royals, Lady Royals, are now 18-5. They will host Noblesville coming up on Friday. That'll be game 1 of a doubleheader. The second game will pit Carmel and Anderson. The winner of those 2 games will meet in the sectional championship. The Lady Royals and Noblesville Millers, well, they've faced each other, of course, earlier this season it was Hamilton Southeastern coming away with a 65-47 win in that contest. So best of luck to Chris Huppenthal. And if you can catch the Lady Royals after, just hang around after the boys' game on Saturday. Lady Royals will be in action with a tip-off, I bet, is set for 6 o'clock. We're about ready for second half action here from Columbus North Memorial Gymnasium, a place that has seen quite a lot of basketball. It is a big stadium, and as you can tell, we are sitting back rather far. Normally holds about 7,200, not a big crowd tonight. Of course, Columbus North also is the home of the swimming sectional, so a lot of people here for that. To begin the second half, first off for the Bulldogs of Columbus North, who lead at 29-19. They'll have their starting five out there: Nathan Van Deventer, Trey Vincent, Jalen Fleming, Alex King, and Stefan Peter Smith. And for Hamilton Southeastern, it will be Connor Rotterman, Noah Smith, Jack Davidson, Aaron Etherington, and Zach Gunn. That's how they'll start the second half. And they'll start it with the basketball trailing by 10 as we are underway. And once again, that 2-3 zone, that is what the Bulldogs have been in all game long. Noah Smith thought about the three, gives it to Etherington as they're trying to set up Zach Gunn down in the low blocks against Stefan Peter Smith. Rotterman to Noah Smith. And now as Zach Gunn gets the basketball, we're going to have a foul called. I believe it's going to go on Stefan Peter Smith, his second, first team foul against. Correction, it went against Nathan Van Deventer, his second. They get the ball inbounds. Nice little wraparound scoop from Aaron Etherington. The Royals score the first points here in the second half, and they cut the deficit to single digits to 29-21. Van Deventer with the basketball. Been watching the battle between Alex King and Aaron Etherington as things got a little chippy there in the second quarter. They will finally give the ball to Flemings. Flemings right side to King. They'll find Peter Smith in the lane. He'll work over Zach Gunn, and Stefan Peter Smith has his first bucket. Zach Gunn, he had those two early fouls in the first quarter, and very conscious not to pick up a quick third here. Here's Rotterman, thought about the three, dribbled up, and now sends it to Davidson. Davidson down to Etherington, finds Zach Gunn. Gunn puts it up, and he's going to be fouled by Alex King. For King, that's his second, team second. And it'll send Zach Gunn to the line to shoot a pair. Zach on the season, and 88% free throw shooter. He's just been getting better at the line as the season progressed. And he calmly nails the first free throw, his first free throw attempt of the night. Zach has gone to the line now 106 times. And after making both of these free throws, Zach has now made 90 free throws this season. That makes it an 8-point lead for the Bulldogs at 31-23. Here comes the trap, and they finally are able to get it. Tried to get it in the hands of Vincent, went through his hands, but fortunately Stefan Peter Smith was there to pick the ball up and keep the possession for the Bulldogs. Now we see Hamilton Southeastern drop into that 2-3 zone of their own. Van Deventer tipped away by Rotterman, but he gets the basketball back and now picks up his dribble, looking for somewhere to give it. Finds Peter Smith left of the elbow, drives in the lane, tries to body up Zach Gunn, left it high. Coming away with a rebound is Rotterman, left side to Davidson. They'll get to Noah Smith. Smith to Rotterman, drives baseline, tried to feed it to Aaron Etherington, and it's kicked out of bounds, and the ball will remain in the hands of Hamilton Southeastern. 5:47 left to go, third quarter. Bulldogs lead 31-23. Davidson will trigger the inbound from the baseline. He'll find Zach Gunn. Double team comes, and now it's stolen away. Picking the Royals clean was Trey Vincent. He anticipated the pass, picked it off, and just raced to the other end uncontested for the layup to put the lead back to double digits at 10, 33-23. 5:30 left to go, third quarter. Davidson to Rotterman. Bounce pass down to Etherington. Etherington in the lane, turnaround jumper high, but missed the shot. And here comes the Bulldogs back the other way, and now it's lost. Here's Zach Gunn. He has his pocket pick, but he managed to get the loose ball. And as he makes a move to the cup, we'll have a whistle and a foul called. Ball on the court. Southeastern lucky to come away with it, and the foul's going to go against Trey Vincent. That's his first 13th foul against the Bulldogs here. And Gunn at the line where he just sank 2 free throws. He'll hit the first. Zach now 3 for 3 from the charity stripe. And he hits the second. He now has 12 points. And it's an 8-point Bulldog lead with 5:06 remaining in the third quarter. Bulldogs look over this 2-2-1 press. King has it. He finally gets it into the front court. They leave it left side to Van Deventer. Back to Alex King. Hamilton Southeastern stays in the 2-3 zone as well, as they'll skip it over the top to Van Deventer. Picks up his dribble, gives King between the circles. Back to Van Deventer. They'll send right side to Vincent, who will now give it into the lane. And Jalen Flemings will come away with the bucket. Back to a 10-point lead for the Bulldogs. Here's Noah Smith. His shot blocked. And they'll give the ball to Columbus as Flemings got the block. But they say it went off of Hamilton Southeastern, so the Bulldogs will have the basketball as Connor Rotterman will take a seat. And Chaz Birchfield comes in for Coach Brian Satterfield. Royals trail by 10 with 4:15 left to go in the third. King with the basketball, working on Aaron Etherington. Again, that's been a matchup. Got a little testy in the second quarter. King drives, they kick it out. Passing up the 3 and then sending it to Van Deventer, and quickly Davidson gets on him. Flemings loses the basketball. Here's Noah Smith, and Smith will finish the steal with the bucket. Noah with 4 points, an off night for Noah. He did not start this game as Austin Holtzum got the start, but Noah started the second half. Down to an 8-point deficit with 3:29. Here's a 3 by King from the corner. Hits the flange, goes out of bounds, and they'll say it went off. Stephon Peter Smith of the Bulldogs, and Hamilton Southeastern will have the basketball trailing by 8 at 35-27. And now a substitution is going to be made by Coach Paul Ferguson as Zach Green comes in. He'll come in for Nathan Van Deventer. Van Deventer leaves with 2 points as Southeastern gets the ball in the hands of Zach Gunn, who sends it up to Noah Smith. Back to Gunn, right side to Davidson. Gunn, long-range 3, between the circles. Shot no good, but Aaron Etherington gets the tip. Etherington with 8 points. It's down to a 6-point deficit with 3:04 remaining in the quarter. This is Zach Green with the basketball as the Royals now go back to a man-to-man defense. In the lane is Peter Smith. Felt the contact. It looked like Gunn kind of pulled the chair. And now Alex King's going to be called for the offensive foul. We talked a little earlier about pulling the chair. This time Chaz Birchfield pulls the chair out, and he'll get the call as King will be hit with his 3rd personal. Jalen Flemings will depart. Trenton Kelly in for the first time for the Bulldogs, and Noah Smith will leave. Nick Bowman will come in for Coach Brian Satterfield. Southeastern trails by 6, but they have the basketball with 2:46 remaining in the third quarter. This is Davidson. Picks up his dribble. Now he will bounce pass to Bowman. Bowman from the left elbow. Shot long. Peter Smith comes away with the rebound. This is Kelly with the basketball. Sent it up to Vincent, who got right back to Kelly. Vincent in the lane now sends it out, and here's a shot. It's a nice job by Vincent to find Ethan Mitchell. Mitchell's bucket increases the lead back to 8 with 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Etherington to Davidson. Gunn lobs it and hit the backboard. Coming away with the basketball is Kelly. Kelly to Green. Peter Smith with it, and he'll send it to Vincent. Left side back to Zach Green. Down low to Peter Smith. Nice denial by Zach Gunn to send the ball out of bounds, and the Bulldogs will have the basketball with 1:41 left to go third quarter, leading by 8, 37-29. Another low-scoring affair through the first 2+ quarters for Hamilton Southeastern, well off of their 76 points per contest scoring average. They get it down low. Kelly nowhere to go with it. Has to send it out to Green. Green loses it. Nick Bowman comes away with it. Out to Davidson. Davidson will take it. He will get the bucket and draw the foul. Jack Davidson, who was scoreless in that first half, and Jack's been averaging over 13 points per game, gets the bucket and draws the foul. And I believe Trey Vincent will be called for his second personal, and it is the team 5th. Meanwhile, Jack's at the line, and he is by far the Royals' best free throw shooter, shooting 94% from the line, and as soon as I say that, Jack misses. 37-31, and now we're going to have a foul as Davidson is going to be called for the reach-in. First foul against Southeastern here in the second half, and it comes at the 1:22 mark of the third quarter. 37-31, 6-point lead for the Bulldogs. They get it into the lane. That's Vincent. It's a little scoop shot. Trey Vincent comes away with a bucket. 13 points for Vincent, and the lead is back to 8. Davidson sends it out. 3-ball on the way. That's splashed by Austin Olson. Austin with 7 points, and it makes it a 5-point deficit, 39-34. We're under a minute left to play here in the third quarter. Zach Green with the basketball, gets around Nick Bowman, and we'll have a whistle and a foul, I believe, called against Bowman. Against Nick, that's his first, team second. Trenton Kelly will send the ball from the sideline, but before he can, he'll be taken out, and Bailey Hester will come in for the first time for the Bulldogs. .7 seconds remain as the Bulldogs get the ball inbounds to Zach Green. Columbus North with a 39-34 lead over Hamilton Southeastern. This is Hester with the basketball. Trap comes. Hester dribbles out of it. Still looking for somebody. 33 seconds remain in the quarter. And now Bowman's going to be hit with a reach-in. Kind of stares at Coach Satterfield saying that was a pretty ticky-tack foul, but it is a foul, and it's his second 13 foul against Southeastern. Hester will inbound. Still looking for somebody to inbound the ball to, and it's a 5-second violation. Very surprised Coach Ferguson didn't call a timeout there. A 5-point lead, and now that's going to allow Coach Satterfield to get Zach Gunn back in the ball game with 31.2 seconds remaining in the quarter. Southeastern trails 39-34. Royals will play for the final shot of the quarter, trailing by 5. Holson to Davidson. 13 seconds remain. Right side to Bowman. 8 seconds. 7. Long range 3 by Jack Davidson. That's a little long, and it goes over the backboard, and it'll belong to Columbus North. Davidson with a very long 3, a little uncharacteristic to go that deep, but he was a little long. 2.5 seconds remains as the Royals will show the 2-2-1. Bulldogs get the ball in. And as the buzzer goes off, the shot by Hester is no good, and that's the end of the third quarter. Southeastern trailed by 10 at the half, and they cut it in half as we go to the fourth quarter. They trail by 5, 39-34. We'll be back with the fourth quarter after this. This is Royals basketball on ASO. Welcome back to Columbus North High School. Brian Scott with you as we begin the fourth quarter. The Royals trail the Bulldogs 39-34. They've trailed for a good portion of this game, but they've managed to battle back here in the third quarter after trailing by 10 at the half and by as much as 12. They've now cut it to 5 at 39-34 as Zach Gunn goes 4 for 4 from the free throw line in that quarter. They also got 4 points from Aaron Etherington. And now they'll begin the final quarter trailing by 5, but it is the Bulldogs with the basketball. And King, his three is long. Ball is tipped out by Birchfield, and the ball will be off of Connor Rotterman. And now we're going to have the officials talk. And one official was going to overrule the other, and the official that made the original call says, no, I've got this, and they'll give the ball to the Bulldogs. We'll set the lineups in just a moment. As they get the ball in, it's going to be tied up. Good job by Austin Holtzum, but not before a timeout's called. The official over there by the bench next to Paul Ferguson called the timeout just about the same time that the official was calling for the jump ball. So the Bulldogs get a pair of favorable calls. Again, the call right before that where it looked like one official called it off of Hamilton Southeastern. The other one came in and said, no, I saw it off of the Bulldogs, and the official said, no, I've got the call, and that's what I'm going to call. It's off of Southeastern, so they gave the ball back to the Bulldogs. And now they get the benefit of a timeout, a 30-second timeout for Coach, or it's a full timeout for Coach Paul Ferguson. As we start the fourth quarter, rather ominously for Hamilton Southeastern. On the court for Coach Brian Satterfield, he's got Austin Holtzum, Chaz Birchfield, Connor Rotterman, Zach Gunn, and Jaron Bond is now into the game, seeing his first action. For the Bulldogs, they have Alex King, Nathan Vandeventer, Jalen Flemons, Ethan Mitchell, and Trey Vincent. And they do get the ball inbounds this time as Vincent will have the basketball picked up by Birchfield. Royals go to man-to-man, trailing by 5, just underway fourth quarter. Vincent to Flemons. They're looking for King, who is being shadowed by Zach Gunn. Mitchell gets it over to Vincent. They get it down low, gets the ball back on a little bit of a pick and roll, and Ethan Mitchell finishes it off with the bucket. He has 6, but quickly Southeastern the other way. Rotterman has the layup roll off the flange, but he's going to earn a trip to the free throw line. And the foul is going to be called against Ethan Mitchell, his second. It is the 16th foul, and Connor Rotterman is at the free throw line. Connor, a 74% free throw shooter this season. And he hits the first. Royals were 4 of 5 from the free throw line in that third quarter. That made them 5 for 7 on the game. And Roderman hits both free throws to make it, once again, a 5-point margin as Vincent's able to get it into the front court. Skip pass over the top. Vandeventer thought about the three. Blocked by Gunn. He'll outlet to Roderman. Roderman will lay it up and get the bucket. Zach Gunn got the steal. Roderman raced and beat the Bulldogs to the other end of the court, and it's now a 3-point deficit, but Nathan Vandeventer is going to be fouled. Connor Roderman with his second, fourth team foul. 41-38, 6:47 remains in this fourth quarter as the Royals make it a one-possession game. But the Bulldogs have the basketball, and now Zach Gunn's going to pick up foul number 3 as he was trying to deny the entry pass to Ethan Mitchell from the inbound, on the inbound pass, I should say, and he's going to pick up foul number 3, and he's going to be quickly brought. Brian Satterfield's going to bring Aaron Etherington off the bench for Jaron Bond. 41-38, Bulldogs with the basketball, the 3-point lead, and 6:46 left to go in regulation. Vincent with a bit of a push-off, no call. He'll take it down the lane and lay it up and miss the shot. Birchfield gets the rebound. Coach Satterfield looking for the offensive foul, didn't get it. Here's the other end, 3-ball from the corner. That's rims out, but Birchfield has the rebound off of the Etherington or the Roderman miss. They'll send it around. This time it's Zach Gunn. His shot no good. Roderman tries to save it, but they'll say he stepped on the baseline. And Coach Satterfield looking for fouls, not getting them. Zach Gunn, Coach Satterfield saying was fouled on the 3-point attempt down in the corner, but it does not get any satisfaction. Zach Green now in. Now the ball's tucked away. Etherington to Roderman, who finds Birchfield underneath. Birchfield is going to be hacked, and I believe it's going to go against Alex King. If it is, that's his 4th. And it is. So King with his 4th, the 7th team foul. And for Alex King, who had 11 points in the first half, he is scoreless here in the second. And Chaz Birchfield is at the line. Chaz will not get the first free throw. And King will have to depart, and Trenton Kelly will come in. Meanwhile, Birchfield, who is a 70% free throw shooter on the season, misses the first. But if he makes this, it's a 2-point game. And he does. Chaz in the scoring column, 41-39, 6:12 remain. But the Bulldogs' leading scorer is on the bench with 4 fouls and 11 points. Vincent almost lost it. He's able to get it into the front court, however, to Green. Green threw it to Trenton Kelly, and Kelly, who was trying to save it from going out of bounds, stepped on the baseline. And the turnover gives the ball to Southeastern. They can tie it or take the lead with this possession as we have 6 minutes left to go in regulation. Roderman left side gives it to Holtzum, back to Connor. It's Roderman, Holtzum, Birchfield, Etherington, and Gunn on the court for Brian Satterfield. 41-39. Bulldogs have the lead. Royals have the basketball. 5:39 remains. Here is Gunn, left side. He gives it to Holtzum. His 3 is good, and the Royals take the lead. 42-41. Southeastern back out in front for the first time since the first quarter with 5:22 remaining, and now Green turns the ball over on good defense from Austin Holtzum. Re-entering the lineup will be Bailey Hester for Coach Paul Ferguson. He'll come in for Trey Vincent. 42-41, Southeastern on the strength of an Austin Holtzum 3 from the corner has retaken the lead for the first time since the first quarter, and now they look to add to it. This is Roderman. Roderman in the lane, and he loses it, but it goes off of a Bulldog, and it will remain a Royal basketball. Trey Vincent, who was out for just a few moments, is back in. Trenton Kelly will sit down. Vincent has 13 points. As the inbound comes to Etherington, he'll throw it up off the glass. No good. The rebound by Ethan Mitchell. He'll get it to Vincent, and Vincent's going to be knocked out. hit from behind by Austin Holtzum. His first 16 foul against Hamilton Southeastern. The Royals are already in the bonus with 5:05 remaining. The Royals lead by 1 as we've hit the 5-minute mark. Vincent thought about 3, faked it, got it down low, tried to get it into Mitchell's hands. He's going to lose it, gathers it back. Vincent for 3. He nails it from the wing. Trey Vincent with his second 3-point basket gives the Bulldogs the lead back at 44-42. Etherington to Holtzum, and now a whistle underneath, and free throws are on the way, but Trey Vincent, he's hobbling. He's trying to make it back to the bench. Oh, the foul goes against Southeastern. It's against Aaron Etherington, his first, team 7th. It's an offensive foul, so no free throws, but it will be the Bulldogs basketball. Meanwhile, Trey Vincent is over on the sideline. Looks like he's got a calf cramp, so they are working on him. He'll have to leave. And Hester's back in. Full court pressure right now, Hamilton Southeastern, and once again a 5-second call. This is the second time the Bulldogs have been hit with the 5-second call. And I believe while Paul Ferguson was checking out Vincent over the sideline, didn't realize that his team got hit with a 5. So it's Royals basketball off the inbound. Rotterman shot no good. He goes to the court. No foul called, and Bulldogs come away with it. Now they have numbers. They get to the other end of the court, but the Royals quickly get back. Hester goes down low into the low blocks. They'll send it out to Green. Green's 3 is on the way, and Zach Green hits the 3. Green now with 5 points, and it's now a 5-point lead for the Bulldogs. So after Southeastern managed to take a 1-point lead, the Bulldogs have gone on a 6-0 run. Here's Gunn. He tried to get it to Birchfield. Not sure Chaz was expecting it, but the pass was a little low. Going the other way, Alex King is going to be called for steps. Took about 3-4 extra steps there, and King is back in. He had 11 points in that first half. He is scoreless in the second, and he also has 4 personal fouls. Noah Smith will come in. He will come in for Austin Holtzum. And Jack Davidson also comes in. So it is Noah Smith, Connor Rotterman, Jack Davidson, Zach Gunn, and Aaron Etherington on the court for Brian Satterfield. This is Rotterman from the right elbow, sends it to Davidson. Davidson with only 2 points this game. Noah Smith to Etherington, back to Davidson, launches a 3 on its way and is good. Jack Davidson hits a big 3, and Brian Satterfield calls a timeout, a 30-second timeout, as Davidson's 3 cuts it to a 1-possession game at 47-45 with 3:31 left to go fourth quarter. I'm Brian Scott. Glad you could join us for Hamilton Southeastern basketball tonight on Audio Sports Online. Come to you from Memorial Gymnasium here at Columbus North High School, the home of the Bulldogs. The Royals will be back home Saturday afternoon with a 1:30 tip-off and a makeup of a postponed game against the Westfield Shamrocks. We'll have that game for you on Audio Sports Online. Tip-off is scheduled for 12:30. The JV will be in action. They will tip off at 11 o'clock against Heritage Christian. Both games can be seen right here on ASO. Out of the timeout, no changes for Coach Brian Satterfield, as the Davidson 3 has cut the deficit to 2. It is Zach Green, Bailey Hester, Ethan Mitchell, Alex King, almost another 5-second call, but this time they get the ball inbounds. And Jalen Fleming, this ball is turned over. This is Rotterman in the lane, and he's going to be fouled to the hoop, and he can tie the game with a pair of free throws. Royal pressure getting to the Bulldogs. The foul's going to go against Stephon Peters-Smith, his 3rd, team 8th, and Rotterman at the line. They will get King out of there so he doesn't pick up his 5th personal. And Rotterman's at the line where he is 3 for 4. That one rims out. And now Stephon Peter-Smith will come back in. It is Peter-Smith, Jalen Flemings, Bailey Hester, Zach Green, and Trey Vincent. And Connor missed both free throws to keep it at a 2-point deficit with 3:15 left to go. Bulldogs with the basketball. Zach Green poked away by Roderman, and now Smith comes to help trap, but they get it to Vincent. Man-to-man defense by Hamilton Southeastern. As Hester dribbles, now sends it right side, and they'll get Vincent at the free throw line. He'll pump fake and leave it off to Stephon Peter-Smith. On a good job by Vincent. Gave a little pump fake, got the defender committed, and then left it to Peter-Smith to finish it off. A 4-point lead for the Bulldogs, 2:40 left to go. Roderman, right side, Davidson looking over that 2-3 zone. Roderman sends it to Noah Smith. Smith underneath, finds Aaron Etherington. Etherington puts it up, but misses the shot, and it falls into the hands of Trey Vincent. Vincent's going to be harassed, and now a timeout called by Bulldogs head coach Paul Ferguson. And he will use his other 30-second timeout. He'll have 2 timeouts remaining. 2:25 remains on the game clock, and the Bulldogs lead the Royals 49-45. Hamilton Southeastern has battled back to take the lead here in the fourth quarter, only to see the Bulldogs go on a 6-0 run to retake the lead. And once again, Columbus North up by 4 at 49-45. Zach's Gunn had 8 points in the first half, all of it in the first quarter. He got into early foul trouble. He's 4 of 4 from the line in the third quarter to give him 12 points, but he's been held scoreless here in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, Hamilton Southeastern's done an excellent job on Bulldogs leading scorer Alex King. Scored 11 points in the first half, has been held scoreless in the second half, and he's currently has 4 personal fouls. And now we're going to have a quick whistle against Jack Davidson. That's his second, but it is the 8th team foul, so we're heading to the other end where free throws are on the way. As Bailey Hester will be at the free throw line with the 1-and-1. And he gets the first as he gets the kind roll on the home rims. That's his first point of the game. Hester came into this game a 50% free throw shooter, only 5 of 10 on the season, but he got the nice roll. Second free throw on the way. He canned them both. And it's now a 6-point lead for the Bulldogs with 2:20 remaining in the contest. Davidson finds Gunn going through the lane, and Zach Gunn finishes it. 14 points for Gunn. Back to a 4-point deficit, and now we're going to have another timeout called by Coach Paul Ferguson, and by my count, he'll only have 1 timeout remaining. So the Bulldogs down to 1 timeout. Hamilton Southeastern has used up their allotment of 30-second timeouts, but they have all 3 of their full timeouts remaining. With 2 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the contest, Southeastern trails by 4. Both teams have 18 fouls, so we're shooting the 1-and-1 on both ends. Gunn with his first bucket from the floor here in the second half. He had 2 big threes to start off the Royals, but again, limited by foul trouble early. And right now for Coach Paul Ferguson, his big gun, Alex King, is sitting on the bench with 4 personals, and Trey Vincent, who has 16 points, is still being tended to behind the Bulldog bench, as he is obviously suffering the effects of a cramp, and they have not been able to work that off yet. Meanwhile, the officials are talking, and now we're ready to resume play. Hamilton Southeastern showing that press. They get the ball into Zach Green to the Bulldogs. Back over to Flemings, and now almost stolen away. Traveling violation called against Columbus North. As basketball comes rolling onto the court. The Royals will have the basketball, the game basketball at least, on their end, trailing by 4 with 2:04 remaining. And they get the ball into the hands of Noah Smith. Davidson to Smith. As we're under 2 minutes left to go in this regulation. Davidson between the circles, lobs it up, and Etherington can't finish it with the slam. Good timing, but just couldn't put it down, and Etherington looks skyward. And the ball will belong to Columbus North as Nathan Van Deventer comes back in. And Zach Green will take a seat. 51-47, a minute 46. As the ball almost lost by Hester, but he finally gets it. The Bulldogs have numbers, but they elect to send it back out, but they lose it. Here's Zach Gunn to Davidson, over to Noah Smith, blocked from behind. Looked like Trenton Kelly came in. No, it was Stephon Peters-Smith to block the basketball. Van Deventer will depart. Zach Green will come in, and now Brian Satterfield will call a timeout. He'll have 2 remaining. And a minute 31 left to go on the game clock here at Memorial Gymnasium. Southeastern trails by 4 at 51-47. Both teams with 18 fouls. Royals had a good look on the alley-oop. I'm not so sure that Coach Brian Satterfield, however, would have maybe liked to see a little bit better, more surefire shot attempt there, but it was a good look. Etherington simply couldn't finish it off, and it is still a 4-point advantage for Columbus North, but Southeastern will have the basketball, and they'll have Austin Holtzum, Jack Davidson, Aaron Etherington, Zach Gunn, and Noah Smith on the floor. It will be Gunn that will trigger the inbounds. Got to watch that he doesn't give the inbounds and get the ball right back. But they get it to Davidson. They do get it right back to Zach. Zach works. Left hand hook is left well short. And the ball finally is corralled by Trenton Kelly. Bulldogs get it into the front court with a minute 17 remaining. Peter Smith, he drives baseline, can't get the bucket. And as Zach Gunn grabs the orange, he's going to call timeout. And that's going to leave Southeastern with only 1 timeout remaining. So a minute 12 left to go after the Peters-Smith miss. Gunn got the rebound, and before he could be grabbed or somebody tried to reach in and pull it away, he calls timeout. With a minute 12 remaining and Southeastern trailing 51-47. So we'll see what Hamilton Southeastern can draw up out of this timeout. It's a 2-possession game. Still plenty of time on the clock. Both teams with 1 timeout remaining. The Bulldogs come into this season not a very good free throw shooting team. They're a 67% free throw shooting team on the season, but tonight, not too bad. They are 5 of 7 from the free throw line. So we'll see what they like to do. Right now, the Bulldogs are going to allow Hamilton Southeastern to get the ball in without any pressure as they set up their defense and get the 2-3 zone ready back in the Royals' end of the court. Roderman, left side to Holtzum, back to Roderman. Roderman trying to lob it into Gunn as we have 60 seconds remaining and the Royals trail by 4. Davidson back to Roderman. Roderman down low to Etherington, kicks it back to Holtzum. Over to Roderman to Davidson. Thought about the 3, kicks it back out. 50 seconds remain. Davidson left side, Roderman over to Etherington. Etherington has to try to send it over to Connor Roderman. It's going to be kicked out of bounds by Zach Green. Royals trying to set something up. They've been getting the ball in the perimeter, hopefully looking for a quick baseline drive. 44 seconds remain. Royals down by 4. Holtzum to Davidson. Davidson thought about the 3, sends it to Connor Roderman. Roderman to Etherington. Etherington back over to Davidson. 32 seconds. Here's Etherington for three. That's short. And the rebound comes into the hands of Jalen Flemings, and he's going to be fouled. Good defense there by the Bulldogs of Columbus North. They couldn't leave anything open for a three, and the Royals had a big problem trying to get anything to work baseline. The foul went against Davidson. That's his third, the 9th team foul. And at the line, shooting the 1-and-1 is Jalen Flemings. And he hits the first. The Bulldogs not a very good free throw shooting team, but Flemings is now 7 of 9, make it 8 of 10. And the lead is now 6 with 25 seconds remaining. Long range three, that's Jack Davidson. Shot no good. Rebounded by Flemings, and he will head to the other end on the foul, and it's the 10th team foul against Southeastern. And the foul will go against Connor Rotterman. His third, and Flemings, who just hit 2 free throws, is back at the line. So the double bonus now in effect on the 10th team foul, and Flemings gets the kind home rim roll, and it makes it a 7-point game. And second free throw, that one's good as well. 55-47, it's now an 8-point lead with 19.5 seconds remaining as Rotterman's three from the top of the key. That's long, as getting the rebound was Austin Holtzum, and we'll have a whistle and a foul. And this one looks like it's going to go against the Bulldogs. Flemings, who made the last 4 free throws, now hit with his first personal, and Austin Holtzum at the line to shoot 1-and-1. Holtzum, a 100% free throw shooter, but he's only been at the line twice, and he's 2 for 2. Big hands coming out for Zach Green and Ethan Mitchell, who now depart, and Bailey Hester comes in, as does Trenton Kelly. Holtzum with a 1-and-1, does not get that one to fall. Bulldogs have the basketball, and Coach Paul Ferguson will call his final timeout with 8.7 seconds remaining, and the Bulldogs will come away with a big win here on their home court against the 12th ranked team in the state, Hamilton Southeastern, as the Royals, once again, problems offensively, not being able to generate points. This has become a problem for Hamilton Southeastern the past few games. Jack Davidson, who comes into this game averaging 13 points, has 5. Zach Gunn has been limited to 14 points, 8 points from Aaron Etherington. And while they did a good job on the Bulldogs' leading scorer Alex King, limiting him to 11 points in that first half and none in the second, the Royals battled back, got a 1-point lead, but then Columbus North with a 6-0 run to erase that lead. Here's a baseball pass that'll get into the front court, and driving and flushing it down is Stephen Peter Smith. That gets the crowd up, and that'll be the final play of the game as the Columbus North Bulldogs upset the Hamilton Southeastern Royals by the score of 57-47. We'll have some final stats and final thoughts coming up. Royals basketball on ASL. Welcome back to Columbus North High School Memorial Gymnasium, where the Bulldogs have upset 12th-ranked Hamilton Southeastern tonight by the score of 57-47. For Hamilton Southeastern, still problems offensively for a team that's been averaging almost 76 points per game the last couple of games, well below their average. And tonight, they simply couldn't find enough offense. They were troubled by that 2-3 zone that the Bulldogs employed for much of this contest. Couldn't get it from the perimeter, had trouble getting it down low, and they come away with the loss tonight by the score of 57-47. Let's give you our final stats for tonight's game. Leading all scorers with 16 points was the Bulldogs' Trey Vincent. They got 11 points from their leading scorer on the season, Alex King. The Royals did a good job on him on the second half, preventing him from scoring a single point. All 11 of those points happening in the first half. King also got into some foul trouble. 8 points from Jalen Flemings, 7 points from Stephon Peter-Smith, including that dunk as the buzzer sounded. 6 points from Ethan Mitchell, 5 points from Zach Green, 2 points each from Nathan Van Deventer and Bailey Hester, and Trenton Kelly played. He did not score. For the Hamilton Southeastern Royals, leading scorer with 14 points was Zach Gunn, 10 points from Austin Holtzum, 8 points from Aaron Etherington, 5 points each from Connor Rotterman and Jack Davidson, 4 points from Noah Smith, 1 point for Chaz Birchfield. Nick Bowman, Aaron Schenk played. They did not score. Hamilton Southeastern was 8 of 14 from the charity stripe in this contest. They hit 5 3-point baskets. Meanwhile, Columbus North, 9 of 11 from the free throw line for a team that wasn't shooting free throws very well. They hit 5 3-point baskets. Columbus North led 13-8 after the end of the first quarter. They led by 10 at the break, 29-19. Southeastern cut into that lead in the third quarter. It trailed by 5 at 39-34. But after getting a brief lead in the fourth quarter, Columbus North pulls away. They win 57-47. For the Hamilton Southeastern Royals, they now fall to 14-4 on the season, while Columbus North improves to 11-6. Our next broadcast of Royals basketball on Audio Sports Online is coming up on Saturday. We'll be with you at 11 a.m. as the JV game will tip off. It's the JV Royals against the junior varsity team from Heritage Christian. That'll be followed by the makeup game of the Hamilton Southeastern Westfield game that was postponed several weeks back. It is the Royals and the Shamrocks. That game's set to tip off at around 12:30. Once again, our final score from Columbus, Indiana. The Columbus North Bulldogs upset the Hamilton Southeastern Royals by the score of 57-47. This is Brian Scott saying thanks for joining me tonight. We'll see you Saturday from Hamilton Southeastern High School for more Royals basketball on Audio Sports Online. Until then, so long, everybody.